Hi, my name is Allen Phillips. I'm an architect and a furniture designer from a town in northeast Texas, DeKalb, and this is my Festool testimonial. My family has owned a sawmill in DeKalb, Texas for over 50 years. We're a fourth generation sawmill family. After graduating from high school, I moved to Austin to study at the University of Texas, and while studying history there, I took a little time off, and I began to frame houses and build furniture on the side, just very simple things, cutting boards, etc. And it was during that time that I became interested in architecture. That is what led me to the Rhode Island School of Design to study architecture there. I carried many things home with me from RISD back to Texas. Knowledge about design, etc., etc. One of the most important things that I carried back was the knowledge of a tool I'd never heard of, and that was Festool. And with these tools, I was able to move from a very perpendicular mode of thought to a very angular and very complex geometries, very clean lines, very strong joints. And this really enhanced my ability to design and my ability to think about what could be designed and what could be built, what could last. The first tools I bought the TS-75 track saw, I bought the domino joiner, and I bought the ETS-150. And with those three tools, I started Archfern. I was at a gallery opening in Austin, which I was a part of. I had a piece of furniture in there, and I noticed two young ladies looking at a piece of mine. I could tell they were questioning it, analyzing it. Turns out they were two architecture students. After I started talking to them, I said, what's your question? They said, how is this joint holding together? In those days, I kept Festool a secret. I didn't want other craftsmen and other designers coming into my studio and shop knowing how I made these angles or how I kept these things together, and because it was a trade secret. So I even went so far as to take the labels off of my tools, peel them off, and so no one would know what it was. There were no names on them. Festool was my secret weapon at that point in my career. So I told the two architecture ladies, I'm not going to tell you how I'm doing it, but if you can guess it and guess right, I will say, yes, you're on to it. And so they went through these increasingly complex ways of how this joint was holding together. They went through the biscuits and then all the way to some inside joint that was, I don't even know, it was just way too complicated for me to even start thinking about. So they said, hey, well, our professor's here, our furniture design professor, and he'll know. So he came over and started looking at them and began talking to them and said, hey, this isn't going to last. It doesn't matter if there are biscuits in here or what kind of joints in here. This is ingrain to ingrain, and it doesn't matter what you do, it's not going to stand up to pressure. And I decided right then and there that I was going to know just how strong the domino joint was. So I climbed on top of that table with my cowboy boots on, and I jumped on it as hard as I could. Everybody was looking, and I jumped, and one of two things was going to happen. That table was going to hold, or that table was going to break. That table held. I sold that table that night. It had a boot heel in it from where I was pouncing on it so hard. So I think that was kind of actually a selling point. The people were like, there's a boot heel in this table where this dude just jumped on it. And that gave me confidence in the Festool domino, and it gave me confidence in what I could do with this tool, like how far I can push this. And I have no worries about using this joint and shipping a table from here to Kalamazoo. Or that's extremely important in design, is confidence. Confidence in your product. My clients expect a lot from me. They expect the highest level of quality, the cleanest lines, the finest finish, because they're paying for it, and I'm going to give them what they're paying for. We recently designed and built a set of doors for a client in Houston, and towards the end of the build, when things get insane and you're running around nuts, like just going crazy, turned out we needed to shave a 32nd off of one end of the door and maybe an 1/8 off the other end, which was, quite a distance at 82 inches. It was no problem. We took out the track saw, we did it 5 minutes, it was done. And mind you, this door was already finished. Final coat had been applied to this door. I didn't have to worry about pushing it through anything. There were no scratches on the door, and we were able to get the door done and get it down there, and everyone was happy. Festool makes my life easier that way. I don't have time to be worrying about having to refinish something if I mess up. I need things to work, and I need them to work accurately and precisely. One of the most important aspects of any Festool is safety, and things get real crazy and hairy in my studio, in my shop. We have multiple projects going to multiple places, and we're running around. We come early, we leave late, we're tired. I just view Festool as a very safe tool. For the first year and a half, I didn't have to have a table saw. All I had was the track saw, the TS-75, And so we honed our design skills around that tool to not need these other tools, which are more dangerous. The long-term safety issues are key in this. The dust from woods or just any exotic wood is very dangerous for us. Anything I can do to relax that danger a little bit really helps me in the long run. These 4 Festool vacuums that we run, my guys do not hook up a tool without hooking it up to that vacuum. That's just long-term investment. You know, I don't have to pay for some treatment of some illness that I got from breathing dust half my life. And that helps me because I'd really like to be able to show my son, this little guy, Theodore, how to use my tools when he's older. The Festool vacuum system really helps me accomplish that. I'm looking to carry my use of Festool into architecture. This Playhouse, which is a part of Operation Playhouse, a charity event for CASA, Court Appointed Special Advocacy, was completely made with Festools. I can take my truck anywhere its wheels will roll. It has a power plug my Festools in, and I can make things like this on site. That's really awesome. I mean, that's really cool. Thanks for watching my video.